So I got my headshots taken recently. I'm down here in Atlanta, wanted to make sure that I got it done before I went out to LA in January. Shout out to my photographer, Brian. I'm going to put his description down in the description below. Absolutely incredible guy, incredible photographer. So if you're in the market, if you're in Atlanta, look him up. Look into him. Absolutely amazing work. But one thing that I reinforced is just how much it is a kick in the teeth to actually get this done well. So today I just thought that I would give you some of the tips that I went over and things that I did in order to get ready for my headshots coming from somebody who's also a photographer. Number one, the first thing in mind, I hate type. The idea that you can be typecast based on your sexual orientation, your gender, your race, your disability, I absolutely hate that shit. But it is important to note that underneath all of these types is an actual character, right? Character, traits, backstory. All of this is essential in order to get a good headshot done, in my opinion. The reason why we fit these roles so well is because of what we look like on the surface level. It's a great example. I was listening to a talk by Timothée Chalamet, and he was saying that when he was first getting started, he really wanted to do action roles. He wanted to do things like Maze Runner. He wanted to do things like Divergent, but he kept getting turned down because he just didn't fit the typical look for someone in that role. Same thing with Matthew McConaughey. After a string of romance films, he did not want to do it anymore, but he was typecast into that. Same thing with David Bautista. He wants to do romance films, but because he was so big, he was typecast into more action-y types of things. You are typecast based on how you look. It's just the reality of the situation. So in order to make the most of it, let's not pick those characters who we are typecast as. Let's pick the underlying attributes and go out for those. That way we have a much wider, diverse range of where we can use these images. What do I mean by that? Let's say we're typecast as a police officer, right? There's no need to go in with props and target specifically, okay, I'm a police officer, this, that, and the other. You can go in as somebody who is authoritative, who is wary, who is usually in charge. That also fits the role of, let's say, a CEO. That also fits the role of this, that, and the other. Strip back these stereotypes into their base realities, and you can have a very diverse range of characters that you can represent in these images. That's number one. Number two, we need to talk about the elephant in the room, and that's actually wardrobe, your clothing choices. There are millions of items of clothing that you can wear, but understanding the first part of this helps you get to the second. Typically in this, if you're going for someone who's authoritative and serious, you need to know what actual show they're going to be on, because those fit two completely different bills. Here's another example. Abbott Elementary, comedy, more of a mockumentary type of style. Frasier Crane, multicam. It's not a typical comedy, like it's not like King of the Hill or those types of comedies, but it's still multicam, right? But they dress completely differently, even though they're still comedy. One is more new, one is upbeat, one is fresh. The other one, the Doctors Crane, wore mostly professional attire. When they weren't in professional attire, you knew that something was wrong. It served the story. Either one of them was depressed, sad, or ended up broke because something happened. So understanding this, not only what character you're portraying, but where they're going to be placed can help you choose your outfits. If you're going for a cop on a more serious crime drama, you don't need to come in a police uniform. You can come in as somebody who's wearing more professional, no-nonsense attires. You're wearing standard colors, you're not wearing anything too loud, it's not completely formal, but it is semi-professional, things of that nature. And you can still fit the bill while also being diverse and fitting other roles that you might want to apply to as well. Get more bang for your buck. So here's a great example. There's a difference between theatrical and commercial headshots. On my commercial headshots, they were more brightly colored. This was one of the shirts that I wore with a white undershirt. They were more fun, got different types of patterns, things of that nature. Versus theatrical. Theatrical was more serious, so it was darker colors, no patterns, darker shades, things that kind of matched more with my skin tone. Not that this doesn't, but things of that nature. And what that did was it made a clear distinction and delineation. That and also facial expressions, which goes on to the third, which is, in my opinion, the most important part of this whole thing. This is not you capturing a nice photo. It's you capturing a moment that expresses a situation to the person who's seeing the photo at the other end of it. So, Before I went in, each of my outfits was linked not only with a character, with an underlying backstory, and with an outfit choice that made sense to that character, but also with a situation that I was thinking of and actually spoke with Brian about. He helped to inform my choices when we were actually taking photos. So for example, when I was that cop at the end of a long day, I had 2 shots where I was thinking to myself that I'm tired, I'm exhausted, I can't find this person, I am just done. And then I looked at the camera because that's my partner who I was working off of. And that was the capture in the moment. Another one was, I'm pissed off. I just found this person. They committed another crime. I'm looking at them. I'm interrogating them. I caught them dead to rights. That was another shot. These aren't just nice photos. When you look at the photos, they inform a story underlying it. They don't know I'm a cop. They don't know I'm a CEO. They know that it looks like I'm telling a story. So whenever I see roles that match that, boom, I have some material that matches with the theme of that. I also have commercial shots with me smiling, with me in more sitcom situations. I have those professional shots with me doing a range of different emotions, going through a range of different stories to fit a range of different scenarios. You don't need to typecast yourself, even though you might be fit into a box. With this photo session, you are giving yourself the freedom to be able to explore a range of characters, a range of different situations and scenarios so that you can get caught in one of these scenarios. Those are the headshots that I aimed for at the end of the day. I always like to say it like this. This channel is to document my journey and document the mistakes that I made so that you can make similar mistakes. We're all going to make mistakes, but so that you don't have to go through it alone. You don't think that you're doing something wrong. This channel is for everyone to learn together. So these were my experiences, and I hope that you learned something today. With that, catch you guys in the next video.